लालमी ले लो लालमी, लालमी ले लो लालमी। आ जाओ बच्चों, लाल लाल मीठा मीठा लालमी खरीद लो। लालमी आ गया लालमी।
मम्मी तुमने सुना, बाहर लालमी वाला आया है लालमी बेचने के लिए। एक बड़ा लालमी खरीद कर लाओ ना मम्मी मेरे लिए। चुप कर, मेरे पास पैसा नहीं है लालमी खरीदने के लिए, तो मैं जा रहा हूँ लालमी मांगने लालमी वाले से। घर में ही रहो तू, बाहर मत जा, बाहर बहुत तेज गर्मी पड़ रही है, गर्मी लग जाएगी तुझको।
बच्चों आ जाओ, लाल लाल मीठा मीठा लालमी खरीद लो। एकदम लाल है मेरा लालमी।
मुझे लालमी ला के दो, मुझे लालमी ला के दो, मुझे लालमी ला के दो मम्मी। जिद मत कर बाबू, रात में चलेंगे लालमी खाने। मुझे अभी खाना है लालमी, बहुत तेज गर्मी पड़ रही है। लालमी 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 लालमी।
लालमी ले लो।
चिंटू, पानी के अंदर रहने से थोड़ा गर्मी कम लग रही है। हाँ चिंकी, अरे बाप रे बहुत तेज गर्मी पड़ रही है, सूरज एकदम आग उगल रहा है आग। मैं तो दिन भर इसी पूल में पानी के अंदर बैठी रहूंगी। मैं तो दिन और रात में भी पानी में ही रहूंगा, पानी में ही खाऊंगा, पानी में ही सोऊंगा। लालमी 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 लाओ, लालमी लाओ, लालमी लाओ। ठीक है, लालमी को लेकर आती हूँ। अब तो कूदना बंद कर तू, जल्दी लालमी लेकर आना मम्मी, मैं मुंह खोल कर बैठा हूँ। घर से बाहर मत निकलना, बाहर बहुत तेज गर्मी पड़ रही है। मैं जा रही हूँ लालमी लाने।
अरे कोई भी नहीं आ रहा है, अब चलता हूँ उधर लालमी बेचने।
अरे वो लालमी बेचने वाला, रुक जाओ, मुझे एक बड़ा सा लालमी दे दो।
चलो, एक बिल्ली तो आ रही है मेरा ये लाल लाल लालमी खरीदने के लिए। बोलो बिल्ली, कितना किलो लालमी खरीदना है तुम्हें?
1 किलो मीठा मीठा लालमी दे दो बंदर भाई।
1 किलो लालमी 20 रुपए का है, 20 रुपए निकालो तब मिलेगा मीठा मीठा लालमी।
बंदर भाई मेरे पास तो 20 रुपया नहीं है, प्लीज थोड़ा सा लालमी दे दो, मेरा बाबू भूखा है।
तुम्हारा बाबू भूखा है तो मैं क्या करूं? पैसा लाओ तब मिलेगा ये लालमी।
प्लीज एक छोटा सा टुकड़ा ही दे दो।
लालमी चाहिए? ये ले लालमी। लालमी 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 खरीद लो।
चिंकिया, तुमने सुना, बाहर लालमी वाला आया है लालमी बेचने। अरे हाँ चिंटू, इतनी गर्मी में तो लालमी खाने में बड़ा मजा आएगा, लेकिन हमारे पास तो पैसा नहीं है चिंकी, लालमी कैसे खाएंगे? अरे वो देखो चिंटू, वो तो एक बंदर लालमी बेच रहा है। क्या? रुक चिंकी, मैं लाठी लेकर आता हूँ, लाठी दिखाकर हम उस बंदर से उसका सारा लालमी छीन लेंगे। अब चल चिंकी, पूरा लालमी का दुकान लूटते हैं उस बंदर से। हाँ चलो, मैं आज ढेर सारा लालमी खाऊंगी। मम्मी आ गई, मम्मी आ गई, मम्मी आ गई, मेरे लिए लालमी लेकर आ गई मम्मी, मेरे लिए लालमी लेकर आ गई। ये अब मैं लालमी खाऊंगा। बाबू कूदना बंद करो, मुझे लालमी नहीं मिला। क्या लालमी नहीं मिला? तो अब मैं क्या खाऊंगा? बाबू मेरे पास पैसा नहीं है तो मुझे लालमी नहीं मिला। मैं तो आज लालमी खा के ही मानूंगा। मैं जा रहा हूँ लालमी लाने घर से बाहर। अरे बाबू रुक जा, बाहर मत जा, बाहर बड़े बड़े कुत्ते घूम रहे हैं, वो तुम्हें पकड़ लेंगे। मैं नहीं रुकूंगा मम्मी, मैं तो आज लालमी खा के ही मानूंगा। बाबू बाबू रुक जा, मत जा, मैं नहीं रुकूंगा।
बिल्कुल लाल लाल लालमी आ गया है गांव में।
रुक जा बंदर, वो पूरा लाल लाल मीठा मीठा लालमी हमें दे दे, नहीं तो हम तुम्हें लाठी से पीट देंगे। भागने की कोशिश मत करना बंदर, नहीं तो पीट देंगे हम तुम्हें।
अरे बाप रे, वो दोनों लड़के तो डंडा लेकर आ रहे हैं मुझे पीट कर मेरा सारा लालमी लेने के लिए।
भागना मत लालमी वाला, मुझे एक बड़ा लालमी दे दो, नहीं तो मैं तुझे काट लूंगा।
अरे दादा, एक बिल्ली भी आ रही है, भागो रे दादा लालमी लेकर।
भाग, कितना भागेगा तू बंदर, मुझसे तेज नहीं भाग पाएगा तू।
अरे कोई पुलिस को बुलाओ रे दादा।
Story 1: The Fire Lookout. This was in 2015. I had taken a road trip to a forest a few hours from me. There was a hike up to an abandoned fire lookout that I was really excited to explore. I should mention it was technically illegal to go inside it or camp in it. It wasn't kept up with and could be structurally unstable. I'd done some research online, though, and most people said that it seemed okay. But the last post I could find about it was from 3 years ago, so I really didn't know what I'd find when I got up there. Anyway, I found a small ditch on the side of the road that I could park in. I got out my backpack with 2 days' worth of gear and started the hike. With trips like this, there aren't usually defined paths to get there. I used a handheld satellite GPS to make sure I was going the right way, but really, the whole time I was just cutting through unknown terrain in the woods. The hike from the road was about 4 to 5 hours. The further in I got, the more dense and rough the terrain became. I was really banking on the fire lookout to still be intact and good enough to camp in. But I guess if not, I was just going to have to find somewhere else nearby to set up my tent. After several pretty tiring hours of hiking, I finally got there. I could see the building peeking out above the trees. When I got closer, it actually looked decently in shape. The paint was worn off, of course, but it seemed to be holding up well. I gave the support beams a few pushes, and they were really solid. So, I tried my luck climbing up the ladder. It was metal and felt sturdy, but still creaked with every step. When I got to the top, I was in awe for a moment at the views. I could see basically the entire forest. There were no buildings, roads, or houses for miles in all directions. It was just the woods. After taking in the view, I went around the ledge and inside the lookout. It was really small, not like one of those big ones that get turned into airbnbs. This was just one room, maybe 150 square feet. It had a decaying bed in the corner and an old wooden desk in the other corner, with rotting windows spanning the entire wall. There wasn't much else to look at, so I put my bag down and rolled out my mattress and sleeping bag, then heated up a meal on my mini camping stove. Once the sun was setting, I walked out to the ledge and watched it. It was by far one of the best views I'd ever seen. I felt like it went by quick, though, and then it was just darkness. It was cloudy out, too, so no moonlight or stars were lighting up the sky. With nothing else to do, I stayed sitting out on the ledge for a while. It was probably an hour into the night when I saw something below me. There was a light moving around in the trees. What was strange about it, though, was it wasn't like an artificial light. It had this orangish hue and was kind of flickering, kind of like a campfire would, which led me to believe it was a torch. He was moving between the trees, not too far from where I was. The chances of someone else being out here at the same time as me in such a remote part of the woods were really slim, given there wasn't even a trail to get here. Also, traveling around at night without a normal flashlight and using a torch was pretty odd. I watched as the light moved under the trees for a while. Then it went behind something where I could no longer see it. For the next 30 minutes, I never saw it appear again. I still stayed out on the ledge, though, taking in the calmness and quietness of the night. Eventually, the wind started to make it cold, so I stood up to take in one last view before heading inside. When I looked below the ledge, though, someone was there. They were standing at the bottom in the grassy area between the fire lookout and the woods. It looked like they were looking directly up at me. Maybe it was the person with the light I saw earlier. "Hello?" I called out. I didn't know what else to say. They didn't move or say anything back. It was just this strange 10 or 15 seconds of looking at each other before they lifted up their hand, like in an acknowledging way or apologizing. Then they turned around and walked into the woods, still with no light on. Obviously, that was incredibly creepy and eerie, but for some reason, in the moment, I felt so sure that it was just another hiker wanting to stay in the lookout. He was probably just looking up, trying to see if anyone was inside already. Why he hesitated to respond and only lifted